In 1914, a Dutch archaeologist kept hearing stories from the local people in West Java. Stories of a mythical palace-like place sitting atop one of the neighboring hills. So he set out, found these stairs, and of course found what lied at the top. Now fast forward about 60 years, 1979, another group of Indonesian archaeologists came here, rediscovered it, and said that it was one of the oldest megalithic sites in Southeast Asia. They just surveyed what they could see. They didn't do any digging, and they dated it to 2,500 to 3,000 years old. Now, in 2010, another Indonesian archaeologist or scientist and geologist came here with ground penetrating radar, a team of experts, and core drilling, and one hell of an open, curious mind. And what he found was absolutely crazy. And that's what we're going to explore today. Now I've got another 300 of these ancient stairs to get up, and it's been one hell of a journey to get here. Over 11 hours on the bike across Java all the way to West Java, middle of nowhere. There's been storms, there's been everything you can imagine. There's a storm right now. So while I climb up here, I'm going to take you back in time and show you a bit of that journey, and then I'll meet you at the top. Sounds good. Welcome back in time, my friends. The 11-hour journey begins. This is gonna be epic, man. Let's get it. Ooh. Climbing up this massive mountain. At least no rain. These roads are crazy, man. It's just like free-for-all, savage level. I would not recommend riding across, like this guy just cuts the corner. I would not recommend riding across Java if you are new to riding. It's insane. We are so high up right now. Like a GTA lobby. Oh, what is that? Get out of the way, man. This is insane. This is like just as bad as India. Oh my goodness. It's been like this for like an hour and a half. We're not too far away like from Jakarta, so if this is what Jakarta would be like, I would not want to visit. It's a big difference coming straight from Malaysia. Malaysia is like one of the best countries in the world to ride. Massive difference. There's a big old storm. I had a hotel sort of roughly marked, but it's still about an hour and 20 minutes away. I'm gonna call it a night here. I'm gonna try and find a hotel here somewhere for the night. Eight and a half hours. 3 more hours tomorrow. Morning, friends. We're up in the mountains. I've survived 2 big rainstorms today. It's been a crazy journey, man. And now we are heading up the mountain. We're almost there. 30 minutes of this. Absolutely crazy bumpy roads, bro. Mamma mia. At least it's a lot more beautiful than those freeways and main roads yesterday. Woo! Now we're talking. There's storms coming in real quick, so hopefully we'll be okay. The craziest thing is this whole ride all the way here, I got to do it all the way back. 11 hours back. Wow, what a journey, man. All the way across to West Java. This is hectic, man. This is seriously in the middle of nowhere. All an adventure all the way out into like the hills of West Java. And now we're in a big farm of tea plantations. This is crazy as. What a journey. Look how high up we are. Man, look at this, guys. This is wild. Just paid for a ticket at the gate. 35,000. If that's the only ticket, that is crazy. For one of the craziest sites in the world, that is crazy. Hello. This is amazing. Alright, I'm gonna see you guys back in the future. Let's explore this place, man. This is gonna be epic. Woo. Worth the journey. It was a hard journey here, not gonna lie. It was a hard journey, but it was worth it. It was actually some of the hardest riding I've done. Welcome to Gunung Padang. This is absolutely wild, man. So obviously, what Danny Hillman found here, he found things a lot more interesting than what had previously been discovered, because they only looked on the surface. The first people that arrived here just studied these sort of areas, which you can see is absolutely crazy in itself. Oh, g'day, mate. Now I think there's three really interesting key points that make this place crazy. Obviously what Danny Hillman found, so the report and the research that him and his team did. His team were made up of, he had archaeologists, geologists, which is what he was, engineers, architects, like a very, very diverse team, which is exactly what you want for studying a place that is this crazy. Now, what sets this place apart is when he started drilling, they did scans, ground penetrating radar scans, which showed multiple different layers here. So you can see these like retaining walls, and these go very, very far down, like 40, 50 meters down on top of this hill. And with the core drilling as well that they did to pull up and carbon date material. Hey sir, how are you? You good? Good. That's good. You hear that thunder? That's coming in quick. Yeah, the material that they found here, every single layer is older, significantly more than the previous layer. So they sort of broke it down into 3 units, 3 levels. The first level, which is what we can see, that's, like we said, 2,500 to 3,000, 4,000 years old. The second layer goes up to 9,000 years old. And then the third layer that they found here, which is deep inside this mountain, is 14,000 years or older, going all the way to possibly 20,000 years old. Insane, bro, insane. Now here's where things get interesting. Level 3, or layer 3, which he found, which dates back to, like we said, 14,000 or older, that is the last ice age period. Now don't get confused when you hear this term. I'll try and explain it simply so it's easy to understand, because I get confused reading these research papers and stuff myself. Last ice age is said to have been at its max around 20,000 years ago, and then it ended some 11,700 years ago. That's when it ended. So the mainstream basically timeline that we've been taught, you and I, and we've all been educated on in school, is that after the ice age ended, then the world is more hospitable for humans, and we can do things like grow stuff. We can cultivate vegetables, rice, so it's easier to live, which means that technically civilizations can have a better chance at surviving and become more sophisticated, right? But the interesting thing with these dates, with the third layer going back that far, this area of the world, Java, didn't have sea on the north of Java. This whole Southeast Asia was basically one huge continent, a massive Southeast Asia subcontinent called Sundaland. Massive, all of it together. And as we know, right, like this place is crazy filled with volcanoes. It's called the Ring of Fire for a reason. But volcanoes allow for a more warmer tropical climate, and they also provide very fertile soils. So you can grow things here, you can cultivate stuff here. So realistically, this would have been one of the best places to be during the Ice Age. It's insane. This is insane. There's not many archaeological sites in the world that are like this. The only really stuff that contests this with what is still here, which we'll talk about, is Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. You guys know, most people know what Göbekli Tepe is. That's dated at least 11,500 years old. And remember, humans, we've been around for 300,000 to 500,000 to even 1 million years. Homo sapiens, we've been here for such a long time. So I don't know why it's such a stretch for people to think that we couldn't have been sophisticated before the last ice age or during the last ice age. Now, there's a lot to look at here, and it's tricky for me to explain. This is not my area of expertise, obviously. So, with the ground penetrating radar, you know what they found? They found chambers inside this mountain, which I can show you some visual representations and some animated visuals. It's basically like a massive, giant step pyramid. And with the dating that they've found, the oldest step pyramid in the world, which is, it's crazy, bro. It's absolutely crazy. have a look at this place. This place is wild. You gotta remember how far we came up this hill, how long it took to get up here. So someone, tens of thousands of years ago, carried all of this up here to construct this at the very top of this mountain. So deep inside, they found 3 chambers, each chamber basically being part of each layer. So the very chamber down the very bottom is within that 3rd consecutive layer that's been built like a big retaining wall. So he put together, Danny Hillman and his team put together this massive research paper with all of this information, all the scans, all the core drilling, all the samples. They even found artifacts here as well. They found like a little ceremonial dagger. And that's where things get interesting, because they submitted the research they published it to like the archaeological institutions. And that's when discourse is supposed to happen. You're supposed to have friendly discourse and professional discourse. Other scientists can disagree, but they disagree with evidence. They come back and say, oh, well, you know, these core samples here, or did you test this, or did you test this? So that's where things get interesting in this story. So he published his papers, and his papers were rejected by a group of anonymous people. So he put in requests and messaged the publishers to have some discourse and work out why it was rejected. And the answers he got was from experts in his field, colleagues, people that have never been to the site himself. They called his work based on imagination. This is the direct email response that he got. The work was imaginative and called it pseudoscience. They put him, a man as experienced as Danny Hillman, who his whole work and his whole life has been about this stuff, geology in Indonesia. He's as good as anyone to do this sort of work. They called his work and his research paper based on imagination and pseudoscience. What an insane level of disrespect. It is absolutely wild. So that's the 3rd thing that I find super interesting. What he found, which is the fact that this has consecutive layers that go deeper and deeper and deeper, and that this hill is basically a huge, gigantic step pyramid, as you can see. Like, look at the retaining wall. Look at the structure of these retaining walls. Like, look at this. And then there's another 2 and 3 layers that go even further down. And then the chambers that they found, they also, another way to reference the chambers, apart from just the ground penetrating radar, is the fact that when they were core drilling, the water is supposed to come back up when you drill. And they lost like 20 to 30,000 liters of water, and then realized, oh shit, maybe we've hit a chamber. So they had to pull to stop the drilling, just so they don't damage anything. So somewhere in this hill, somewhere in this ancient monolithic structure, there is chambers in here, still here. His work was done in, early 2010s, like 2011, 2012. Absolutely crazy. So his work gets rejected. His papers don't even get any scientific pushback. It is literally just biased, ego-based response, which is insane. Not to mention, like, Danny Hillman, this geologist guy, the scientist, he's practically like a hero in Indonesia. In 2004, there was a massive earthquake and tsunami. And he was warning people of that months and months and months before. He was saying that something could happen. He was putting posters around the place and educating local people. Like, he's a legend, man. He's an expert in this field. And his whole research paper, which is When someone does the first research on a place, that's how science works. You make a paper, and then you want to spark curiosity. Science is based on curiosity. You have to be curious to even look at any of this stuff. And then you're supposed to have some professional discourse and get other people interested in the site to come here and look at it. And all these people that have been knocking him back and putting in requests to get his work and stuff removed and not, you know, counted, they've never even been here. It frustrates me, man. I can't imagine his level of frustration. So many years of work. What are you yelling at? Kid was yelling at me. Yeah, how crazy is that, right? Insane. It's hard to even explain to you in like a process that doesn't seem like some story, some fantasy. But look at this place, bro. Look at this place. Like even the artifacts they found here. This little handheld dagger, which they think would have been used for like ceremonial purposes. Maybe the top layer of this structure could have been for sacrifice, stuff like that. Even that stone that they found, which they've found other places all around the world, like indigenous people used stones, they made tools. This is not a myth. They said that it was just a naturally occurring stone. It's perfectly shaped, it fits in your palm, it's snug in your hand. You can see like little flint marks on the edge where how they make it when they break it apart. It's got a perfect ridge line. I don't even know what to tell you guys. Like this is, it's insane. The fact that this is here and it cost, I think I got here, I think it's like $1 or $2. And still, for the last, that's 10 years, almost 10 years, there's chambers in here, 3 consecutive chambers buried deep in here that we have no idea what they contain. And they have the possibility of rewriting human history, if all is correct. It's a lot to explain. I'm just trying to get it out there, especially before it rains, because I have to put the camera away. There's so many more strange things here. It's hard to remember it all, so I'll link a bunch of videos in the description. That there's so many guys that go so deep in detail. There's even a dude, I think his name is, I forget who his name is and his YouTube channel, but he interviews Danny Hillman. Great podcast, and they discuss everything. So I'll link that. Definitely watch it. Give it a listen. Hey sir, photo? Yeah? Okay. Like, have a look at that. That's crazy. The retaining wall. This is crazy, lad. This is crazy. Look at the amount of stones that there are. Like, you see, look at that wall there. Look how they're stacked. I'm trying to find like examples and in weird places to show you. I mean, even this is like, look at that. That's like a full-on little platform. It's weird that Indonesia or Southeast Asia in general just gets overlooked with all of this ancient stuff. Now, to make it more understandable why his papers and this sort of stuff got rejected, which is not how science is supposed to be at all. That's controlling the narrative work of field. That's not how science works at all. You got to remember, places like this and work like this, they get funding sometimes from the government, but 90% of like archaeological work in Indonesia doesn't get funded by the government. It gets funded by grants, usually coming from universities. And you got to remember, this is the core foundation of history and archaeology. So for some reason, they're so bent on anything prior to like 12,000 years old. Anything prior to that is just complete mystery, complete imagination, complete pseudoscience. It is insane. It's frustrating to even talk about, but Yeah, as harsh as it sounds, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because these older generations who are protecting the information and protecting the work that they've done, they're gonna die. They're gonna pass away. That's humans, that's how it works. You get old and you die. New generations like my generation will take over, who are way more interested and way more curious because there's places like this, and we'll end up doing the work, doing the research and doing the excavations and finding out what's going on. And then new papers will be written, new studies will be put forward, and the older generation's work will be forgotten. It'll be irrelevant because it probably won't matter. So like, if that is the case, why would they not want to be on the right side of history and at least just be interested? Like, there is 3 chambers here. Like, can you understand that? There is 3 chambers buried deep here that could just have some crazy artifacts or anything. Like, they found coins here, ancient coins, the handmade daggers. They dug down to the 2nd or almost 3rd layer and found the same retaining wall set up the whole way down. So imagine what's in these chambers. What if they're like burial chambers, like a king's chamber, and then each level, once level 3's been filled in, they built the chamber, they filled it in, then ages later, 1,000 years later, they build another one. Or whoever, the kingdom that's in charge of this region, Sunderland, builds another layer to the pyramid. And what if it's just some huge, like almost Great Pyramids of Giza type setup, where it's a burial chamber? Who knows? Who knows? I hope we do find out, because it's here waiting to be dug, but there's no incentive to do it because people don't want the original dating changed. Insane, huh? There's so many stones, it's off the chart. The retaining wall looks even bigger from this side as you walk up these stairs. It is absolutely massive. Just down here. Let me just show you. Like, look at the size of the wall, bruv. Think about the organization and the work that had to go to get to cut these and then transport them 150, 200 meters up to the top of this hill. It's insane. Have a look at these retaining walls. Man, this is wild that we can just walk around this place like full on freely. I'm so fascinated about the chambers. Like, what is inside those chambers, bro? That's how science works. That's how science works. You have to be curious. And it's like, now you're just not even allowed to be curious. If you're curious, you're just labeled as a bloody pseudo-scientist. Insane, mate. Insane. We don't even need to talk about these. We don't even need to talk about it. Like, you guys know you guys know. You know what's happening. It's obvious. Everyone knows, especially now with Göbekli Tepe, which has strangely been halted as well. All archaeological work and excavations of the surrounding areas, which are supposedly older, have strangely been halted. Wonder why that is. Cannot believe this has been sitting here for 9 years and no one's come up with the 100 grand to drill down and then drop a camera into one of these chambers and have a look at what the hell is in there. Terrace 5.
Sana turun.
Okay.
Turun singgah sana. Terrace 5.
Terrace 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Is Put Tiger.
I see.
Is
I see.
Kujang.
There's 5 terraces on the top layer.
Yes.
5 terraces, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Mm.
You work here?
Yeah, okay, guide this.
Ah, you're a
My name
guide,
Danny.
Ah,
My
nice.
name Danny.
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 Danny. You know Danny Hillman?
Bukan temen itu mah.
Yeah, you know Danny Hillman? Yeah, the one that found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sama Hanky Hancocks.
Yeah, Hancock. You know Hancock? No way, Graham Hancocks. Thank you, sir. Terima kasih. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Terima kasih. He knows Graham Hancock. That's legendary. That's legendary. Graham Hancock's a legend, man. He's made a cool video on this place, which brought this place into the spotlight on his Ancient Apocalypse Netflix series. That's sick, Graham Hancock. So that's what he's saying. This top layer is obviously, you can see the 5 levels, right? But I'm more interested in what's in the chambers, bruh. Let me in. Give me a shovel, I'll dig it. I'll dig it. We just need 100 grand. That's all we need. 100 grand. If this video goes crazy, if this video does very well, like, mate, if these guys need funding, I'm happy to help. Like, it's obviously not significant and I'm a nobody in terms of this sort of work, but I'm happy to help, mate. I'm happy to fund some of this project. There's some crazy rain coming now. The whole mountains around us are fully soaked in with rain. So we're about to get cooked. There's not that much more to show you. There's not, honestly. I think it's just fascinating to actually look at and just visualize. Like, it's a mystical looking place, isn't it? Look at that, that's crazy. So fascinating, man. Have a look at the side here. Look how far down that goes. I'll obviously input a bunch of references so you can read, and I'll try and link the research paper. His research paper is still online. You can still read through it. It's a brilliant research paper. But as Danny Hillman said, the geologist, the scientist that put together the paper, as he said we need more information. He's like, here's what we've found so far with all we can do. This is the funding that we had. This is as many drill samples as we could take. This is what we found, which is absolutely fascinating and begs for more investigation. And then, boom, rebunked the whole report and labeled pseudoscientist. I don't know what to tell you. I think it speaks for itself. You guys know what's going on. Strangely, so peaceful up here as well. There's a real nice energy. Big storm coming. Hello, sir. Yeah, we got the rains here now, some sprinkles. There's got to be some crazy stuff in those chambers. Now, it's an old volcanic hill, so people were saying that it's just like chambers that you get created when volcanoes form, which that happens. But that could be true for sure, but there is literally, it shows chambers and then it shows like small narrow passageways to the next one. and they are too well formed, like rectangular, to be natural. There's no chance at all. There will be no aerial photography here, obviously. But I think it's amazing enough just with the camera. That's great. Like, even you could sort of imagine, you can see this like rectangular box shape here, right? And almost, yeah. Oh, photo, okay.
Hey,
Okay.
thank you.
Oh, terima kasih.
Nih, Mister.
Oh, we get some photos.
Okay. Tatungan, mit. Foto.
Import the woman. I got you, buddy.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Terima kasih.
Thank you, sir. Terima kasih. Sama-sama. None of us speak the same language. We're all.
Thank you.
That's okay. No worries. Yeah, like I was saying, it's like there's a square box here, which is almost like an entry, and you come in through this way, and you could walk in deep into here, into the chambers. Wow, look at the mist coming through. See the clouds rolling in? Oh, bruv, that's full white out there. Chilling, smoking. There's so much rain coming. Big rain. Mamma mia. We're gonna get wet, but it's worth it. That being said, I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah. A lot of information to remember, so it's probably very confusing the way I explain it, because this is not my area of expertise. But there is no doubt this is one of the most, there's not many sites like this. There's not many sites that are this interesting at all. Like, this is it, man. It's time to get some answers, because there's stuff here waiting to be dug. See you in the next video, friends. I got to ride 11 hours back. Everyone's gone. It's just me. Look at the clouds that are rolled in. What a crazy place, lad. What a crazy place. Wow, look at the clouds ripping through. All right, now I really got to get out of here. Thanks for watching. I know Indonesia isn't an interesting part of the world for most of you. Most of you don't care, but you should. Could hold some of the craziest discoveries ever.